Hey everyone, it is Lane with Tim's Nation. I am here today to talk to you a little bit about the Blood Angels I'm bringing today. Now, I know I've played Blood Angels quite a bit on the channel. However, today it's going to be Angelic Host. We're running the Angelic Host detachment. Man, the Liberator Assault group is really good, but I did want to try out Angelic Host, and I have been building lists with it. It really favors jump pack things, jump pack units like Inceptors and Sanguinary Guard. And I was struggling building the list, trying to get everything I wanted into it. And then with the recent points update, they lowered the points on Inceptors and they lowered the points on Sanguinary Guard. So I was able to just fit a lot more stuff into the list, get what I wanted here. So that's what we're going to run today. Angelic Host, Blood Angels. Now, we give up a lot by not taking Liberator Assault Group. And when you're playing Blood Angels and you've been playing Liberator Assault Group a lot, you're used to getting that +2 strength and +1 attack on the charge. So I got to keep in mind that I don't have that. I will probably try to use it at some point in this game because just assuming those Sanguinary Guard are going to get +2 strength and +1 attack on the charge. But they're not. They're not going to get it. Got to keep it in mind. But what does Angelic Host do? Well, it has a very simple detachment rule. At the end of my opponent's turn, I can pick up 2 units, 2 jump pack units that are not in engagement range, and then they can come back down the next turn. So I get uppy downies for free, don't have to spend any CP on it. I can go for any jump pack unit. So guess what? This list is 92% jump pack units. And luckily, Space Marines have some pretty good ones. There are also some really interesting stratagems at play here. I actually didn't take any enhancements today. I'm not really impressed with the enhancements. There are some good ones, but my plan with this list is I was doing something special with the Sanguinary Guard. Not really special, but my idea around them involves basically no characters. Characters certainly buff the Sanguinary Guard, but when we have a stratagem that gives us reroll hits and wounds into a target once that target has killed one of my units. I don't feel like they need that much buffing from the characters, so I don't have any characters attached to the Sanguinary Guard. So there's no enhancements on anything today. They do have the enhancement that gives them a counter move, and anybody moves within 9 inches of them, they get a 6-inch move for the unit. That's really strong, but again, I'm not taking it today. If you want to play with that, go ahead, have fun, have a good time with it. But there's also one that gives character Lance on their weapon an anti-chaos 5-up. That's kind of an interesting thing to throw on a Space Marine captain with jump pack with a Thunderhammer because he gets dev wounds. And meaning anti-chaos 5-up means he'll be dead wounding on 5s. And if it's leading Sanguinary Guard and he gets to reroll all hits and wounds into a target, especially against the World Eaters today, it would have made sense to bring that, but I didn't. So we're not going to be using that. We're going to be using the stratagems. So the stratagems are really good. I'm going to talk about how I'm going to use them and what I plan to do with them after we go through the actual list here. So this is the actual list that we're bringing today. It's kind of weird. It's kind of goofy, but this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to bring 18 Inceptors and 18 Sanguinary Guards. That's what we did. Here it is. All right, this is exactly 2,000 points of Blood Angels in the Angelic Host detachment. For characters, guys, this is my characters. I've got one. The lonely but very, very brave Lieutenant in Phobos armor. That's it. That's my only character today. All the enhancements can only go on jump pack characters, so no enhancements. Just this Lieutenant with Phobos armor. I love this guy. He is not lone op. The Lieutenant with combi weapon is lone up, but this guy is just the Lieutenant in Phobos armor. However, he does have both infiltrate and has a scout move. And when his unit shoots, after they shoot, they can move D6 inches, and they can still charge after doing that. Now, that ability specifically says his unit, not when he's leading a unit, but his unit. So that means he can do it by himself. This guy is going to have a super special secret mission today. I'll tell you guys what it is after we get to the list, but I want you to see if you can guess what his super secret mission is today. All right, so 1 Lieutenant in Phobos armor. Then let's just get to the meat and potatoes, guys. Here it is, 18 Inceptors. I'm bringing 18 Inceptors because I have 18 Inceptors. Of course, I have 18 Inceptors. I'm a Space Marine player. How dare you think that I would not have 18 Inceptors? We're going WYSIWYG today because I would never, ever do any proxies with you guys. I've never proxy anything. So it's all WYSIWYG. So we have 2 6-mans of Plasma Inceptors and 1 6-man of the Bolter Inceptors. These guys are good. They lost their 3-inch deep strike and it got bumped back to a 6-inch deep strike, but they still hit really hard and their points went down. So their damage output is still there. The plasmas, when they overcharge, they're at strength 9, I believe, or no, strength 8, AP 3, flat 3 damage. Hits really hard and they're twin linked, so they can get those wounds through by rerolling wounds. And then the bolters gets 3 shots apiece, strength 5, AP 1, flat 2 damage. They are also twin linked and they have sustained 2. So they're really good at chewing through infantry because you can get a lot of shots off with them. Like I said, they do have a 6-inch deep strike now. They are jump pack units, so they can take advantage of the detachment's uppy downy ability. So we're bringing as many as we can, and that's 18 Inceptors. Next, the other key unit. 18 Sanguinary Guard. Listen, guys, how dare you think that I would have 18 Sanguinary Guard at this point? What crazy person would own 18 Sanguinary Guard? Surely not I. So I don't have exactly 18 Sanguinary Guard, so we're going to have to use some proxies here. Of course I'm going to proxy. How dare you assume that I would not do some proxying? But we've got... I've got 6 of the Sanguinary Guard that were the kind of the old style Sanguard that I bought and painted up. And then I do have Venatari, Custodian Venatari, which are, to be clear, genetically enhanced super soldiers that have golden armor and fly around on wings and deep strike in and surprise people. So they're a pretty good proxy. So we're using 9 of the Venatari, and then we also have 3 more old style Sanguinary Guard that I bought used. They're spray primed, but they're not even painted yet. I had to stick them onto some 40 millimeter bases with some sticky tack. So my apologies for their appearance, guys. Now, here's the thing. Everybody kind of agrees in Liberator Assault Group that you take the Encarmine Blades because they get 4 attacks, strength 6, AP 3, 2 damage. They also have the spear option, which is 1 less attack, so 3 attacks hitting on 3s, and they're only AP2, 2 damage, but they are lance. Now, because this detachment's stratagem that allows them to reroll hits and wounds into a target, I've decided to go with the lances on 2 of these units, so really just hoping to proc off as many wounds as possible. Sure, it's fewer attacks. Sure, it's less AP, but I'm going to take advantage of that lance with the wound rerolls to really just get the maximum number of wounds through and see how my opponent does there. I'm really trying to take advantage of it. We'll see how it plays. So what I'm going to do, like I said, we got a little bit of proxying here. The 6-man Sanguinary Guard unit that is the actual Sanguinary Guard models that I painted up and based, they're going to be the ones with the Encarmine Blades. The other 2 6-mans will be the ones with the lances, just so we can keep them apart. So let's move on here. We do have 2 5-mans of Assault Intercessors with jump packs. Jump pack units are very important to this army, so we've got these. They're not benefiting from the Liberator Assault Group's +2 strength, +1 attack, but they cannot be downing them for scoring purposes to get them around the board. And then, of course, they're great for proccing off a couple of the strats that we'll talk about here. Then I do have 2 3-mans of suppressors. At 75 points, they're a little bit cheaper than the 90-point Assault Intercessors with jump packs. And their suppressing ability is kind of nice. They're a little bit cheaper, and I do need cheap units, specifically cheap jump pack units, to make a couple things in this army work. So they're good for scoring, bopping around. They can also shoot something, and once they hit it, that thing becomes -1 to hit until the beginning of my next turn, meaning they're -1 to hit in shooting and combat, as long as the suppressor unit that tagged them is still alive and on the table. So it's a fun little thing. And again, they're only 75 points, so some of my strategy today is going to need some cheap jump pack units. So they fit the bill. And then finally, we've got a Hail Strike Storm Speeder. He's not a jump pack unit, but he's kind of a jump pack unit in spirit. He does have the deep strike ability. He does have the ability to fly. So he's kind of just like a big jump pack Space Marine going around the table. His special ability is after he shoots an infantry unit, the rest of my army gets +1 AP into that for that shooting phase. So he really helps me do a little bit more damage. He's going to be pairing up probably with the Assault Bolter inceptors, so they go from AP1 to AP2, and they can really chew through some infantry once we get to that AP2 mark. All right, that's the list. So what's it going to do today? Like I said, first of all, the Sanguinary Guard, no characters leading them because I'm really trying to proc off the stratagem that benefits them. I have my phone here because I remember what the stratagem does. I don't remember what it's called. And it's called Unbridled Ardor. For 1 CP, any phase, when one Adeptus Astartes unit from my army, so that can be any unit from my army, has been destroyed, you can use the strat even if your unit's been destroyed, then until the end of the battle, each time a friendly Sanguinary Guard unit attacks the unit that killed my unit, they get to reroll hits and wounds. Meaning, Dante is great when he's attached to Sanguinary Guard, gives him +1 to hit. That's really cool. But when these guys get full rerolls to hit and wound into a target, I feel like adding the character on there becomes kind of redundant. So that's why I'm trying them with no characters. We'll see how it actually does in the game, but I'd like your feedback on that, see what you guys think. My impression is that I'm just going to try to proc this strat off as many times as possible. Again, I can use it in any phase, and any unit that kills one of the units from my army. So it can be in their shooting phase, their fight phase, my fight phase, Overwatch phase. Anytime that happens, we can do that. Now, this is where I was talking about the Phobos Lieutenant, the sneaky little guy here. His secret mission today is to go forth and die immediately. Because if he does that, he can proc off that stratagem, Unbridled Ardor, which gives me those full rerolls. So he infiltrates, first of all. He has a 6-inch scout move, and then he moves. When he shoots, he can then move again another D6 inches and can still charge. Meaning he can charge into a big, juicy target. Hopefully that target kills him, because you can't opt not to fight once you're in engagement range of fighting in the fight phase. And then I can proc off that strat. So we'll see how that plays out today. It's a fun little cheeky bit of tech. He's street 55 points. We'll see if there's a good unit I can put it into him. So make sure you check out the actual game to see how that works. But yeah, and then we've got a couple other juicy strats here. Angel Sacrifice. At the start of the fight phase, I can pick one of my jump pack units that's an engagement range of an enemy unit, and that entire enemy unit has to put all their attacks into that one unit of mine that I've chosen. So that means if DJ has a fight first unit, perhaps, or he is charged into me and I heroic intervene, or he's multi-charged 2 units. Let's say he's got a fight first unit, though. I charge my Sanguinary Guard in because I want to destroy that unit. I can also charge in some suppressors or jump back intercessors, or maybe some inceptors that have gotten whittled down to 1 or 2 models. I can charge them in as well if DJ opts to fight first, and then I can spend 1 CP and make him put all of his attacks into the smaller, weaker, less powerful unit, thus keeping the Sanguinary Guard alive to do their punching. So it's a very good way to kind of get around the fight first, although you do have to sacrifice a unit to do it, so you definitely want to have some smaller, cheaper units in there for it. But it kind of gets around the fight first thing, and also, like I said, if my opponent charges me, then I can either heroic intervene, or if he has to force him to multi-charge by putting the units close together, I can use it there as well. And hilariously, if I have 2 command points, I can spend 1 on this, force him to kill the smaller unit, the weaker unit, and then spend 1 to give me the full rerolls from the Sanguinary Guard into the unit that just killed them. We'll see if the CP management is going to be key in this game, guys, because if I have the CP to do it, there's a lot of tricksy shenanigans we can do here. And then another good strat we have is Martial Exemplars. 1 CP gives the whole unit, not just a character, but the whole unit, lethal and precision. That's pretty juicy, because there's some other armies that give a whole unit precision, but it costs 2 CP, or maybe it's just a character that gets precision. For 1 CP, the whole unit gets precision and lethal, which is really strong. And then, of course, another key strat is Death from the Skies. Basically, Adeptus Astartes jump pack unit can advance, fall back, charge and still shoot. So they can advance and shoot and charge, or fall back and shoot and charge. Obviously, a really strong strat there. So look for those today. So those are the strats. There's definitely some shenanigans we can pull with this army. I hope I get a chance to do that. Follow me over to the battle report, and let's see how the Angelic Host does. All right, see you there.